that really worked out at the time that I was able to go and work for someone, make some money, but also be able to be homeschool my son during the weekdays and stuff like that.
Howdy, folks. Brian Cusko here. Today we're going to sit down with Chris Ballinger of Epic Style LLC, and we're going to talk about his journey with reptiles and where that's getting him and where he's going with it. You're watching Redline Report. Epic Style.
Epic Style, yeah.
Epic Style is like, I think you're embodying it.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. No, I just kind of let it go, and it's fun. I know at some point it's going to come to the end. It's kind of thin here.
You're not just going to let it just keep on no matter what happens up there?
Probably not.
Probably not?
I miss wearing a hat, man.
Okay.
Like, I wear a hat every once in a while. My wife will braid my hair, and I can wear a hat, or I could fit a hat over this, but it kind of flums back up a little bit. It's not very snug. But I miss wearing a hat at times. What I'll probably end up doing is talk to Brian and Brian Potter and Bob Ashley, like just doing like at the Tinley auction or whatever. Just whoever wants to shave my head, start bidding, like do one of those things or whatever, and then hopefully it doesn't look too bad the next day at the show. bring a hat with me so I can at least cover up or whatever.
Yeah. No doubt. Dude.
But yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's kind of became its own thing. Like, didn't intend for it to become its own thing. In that regards, that like, kind of helps you stand out. Kind of helps people see you and know you. Or like with our patch that we did for Redline, it has a gecko with some like long hair on it and stuff like that. And so it's the thought process. Like, oh man, if I cut it, doesn't change me, but like obviously you're looking. I blend in a little more, I guess. So, but yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, this is as long as it's longer than it's been in like the last couple of years.
Yeah. I say when I first started watching your channel off and on here and there, when I came across it and stuff, you had some like flowing locks going on.
Yeah, it was happening.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about bringing it back. Well, it's kind of happening, but then it's when this stuff starts happening, it starts hitting me in the face.
That in between section, like, is it really worth it? Yeah. Like the hardest part is like when I have my hair down and like I'm trying to eat something and like randomly it's like, that's my hair. I don't want that. That's gross. Like, or yeah, that's the hard part of it. Or walking outside and the wind's going the wrong direction. It's like, get your mane under control. Come on now. Like, this isn't working out. But
yeah,
I will say washing my hair, like, I will love that because it's a process. Like, my wife's got me disciplined to like how to properly wash my hair and oils and making sure I'm like caring for my scalp and all those things that guys usually don't do, I think, probably. But she's like, oh my gosh, your hair's improved so much. And I'm like, thanks, babe. Appreciate it. It's all you. So it was like her little project, I guess.
Epic Style LLC, that's you started that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was something you said when you were leaving Tinley the other month or whatever that I was like, is he working for somebody else? And I didn't think that was the case.
No, man, I like the naming wise for it, like originally what I wanted when I realized I wanted to get into reptiles and I worked for somebody else helping them put on their show and stuff and kind of gathered my own army of reptiles and I could go do this and make a little better living at it, that I wanted to do nothing but awesome reptiles. And I'm like, that's kind of cheesy, but I'm really big into sports. And I'm like, it's like NBA reptiles. And I was like, no, I don't want no lawsuit or anything from that, like infringement or whatever. And so then just throwing darts at the board and messaging back and forth between the wife and just trying to find something that was inclusive and not exotic or reptile or something that just had a name that was like, okay, what is this? What is it about? And I don't exactly remember how we came across Epic Style. But I was like, that's a very broad statement that could be used in many terms. And the cool part about it is I think that could be like a building block for like a foundation of other things, not just reptiles being layered with it, but you could branch off into other things and that incorporate just being part of that main frame of the business. Because then our motto is why not reptiles? I think truly, if someone came out to a show that wasn't a reptile person, you could walk a show like the Super Show or Tinley or Dallas, and there's a lot of variety. You could find a reptile that you think you might enjoy, that you would want to look up and research, and I might want to keep that bad boy. So just like, I really enjoy dogs. I don't have just right now. Dogs don't work. One day I'm gonna have a dog. It's gonna be really fun. But just like everybody thinks everybody should have a dog. I think everybody, whether it's you don't have to keep reptiles like we keep reptiles and numbers and stuff like that. You can have one reptile and it can live its best life, no problem at all, and you can enjoy it and care for it and follow its whole journey and there. So.
I'm not sure who says that everybody should have a dog, but everybody should definitely not have a dog. There's some people out there I'm like, you shouldn't have a dog.
Yeah.
Or anything else that's alive under your care.
Okay. You're probably right on that same story. That you could look it across the board and be like, nah, probably not.
Yeah.
No. Or like it's when you have like multiple of them and you're not doing a well job of it and stuff. And no. So you could,
Yeah. Well, when was it? So when did you start Epic Style?
When did I start? Let's say we started LLC in 2021. Previous to that, the 3.5 years before, I worked for a company, Cold Blooded Expos, running like the booth section at their show where they would have reptiles and supplies and stuff, cages, for people that came to the show and that day. I would drive the truck, help set up all that stuff for them. We'd go I'm out of the Kansas City area. We'd go from Minnesota all the way down to Oklahoma City, show in Chicago up in Crystal Lake area. And then we actually did a couple shows he had out in Colorado Springs. And so that was kind of like my, I guess, internship. I enjoyed reptiles when I was younger, kept a few smaller geckos here and there, but never was like, I would say I was never overly obsessed with like, got to figure out reasons why for this and that until we got our son a bearded dragon. And then my wife, 6 months later, through Facebook, she found the local reptile show. And we're like, oh, man, we could probably go buy feeders cheaper there because, man, Petco, man, whew, their feeders are not cheap. And so we started going there and falling in love with different species and checking them out and just kind of becoming a part of that community. And that's where I met the person that puts on that show there and got to know him over the next couple years. And then I got to work for him and stuff like that. And that really grew my reptile passion and hobby, getting to meet other people, getting to travel. It was just the Midwest at that time, but get to travel to different shows and meet different people that enjoyed the same things that I was getting into and stuff like that. And so that's kind of how that all started out there. And then it got to the point of like, I really like doing this, but like I respect and enjoy what my friend taught me. And so I gave him a month's notice. I was like, hey, at the end of this month, I'm going to be starting my own thing. I'm going to vend your shows because you put on good shows and they're local and stuff like that. But just for my family and for my efforts and stuff like that, I think I can be a little bit better and a little more focused on what I want to focus on in doing in that parts. Because like the other behind the scenes part is that we our son Desmond, he's 13. We homeschool him, and so that's what kind of led to some extra free time, me being able to travel on weekends and stuff like that, and kind of be able to be at home working with reptiles on a more frequent basis. So that flexibility, without that domino happening, I don't know if this domino ever takes effect. So it's kind of interesting how, your path in life goes and stuff, the ebbs and flows, right place, right time type of thing. But just that really worked out at the time that I was able to go and work for someone, make some money, but also be able to be homeschool my son during the weekdays and stuff like that. And that evolved into another level.
So what different species do you work with? Do you work with the species primarily, or as you said, like
so our main focus is Leachianus geckos. Well, I started with ball pythons. I will go on record and say that I'm probably the worst ball python breeder out there. I think I got up to like 80 snakes, and that was ranging from, it was a lot of babies. I bought babies because I'm like, that was the cheaper thing to buy than buying adults. Not a good plan. If you see something you like and you really need it and you want to progress forward, spend a little more, and if it works out, and buy something that's a little more established on that part of it. But I just, the cooling down process or getting locks, and how I think in the 3 years, so that'd be, yeah, 17, 18, and 19. In the 3 years, and I had probably, at the height of it, I probably had like 15 females that were breeder size and ready and stuff. I think I got like 4 total clutches. I mean, not awful, but it just, when I stepped back and I would go to shows and start looking at things, I knew that wasn't the animal that was like, oh, like, it pulled me into the hobby, and I enjoy saying I still have ball pythons. I enjoy that part of a fun creature to have out. So many different paint jobs, variations to them, but there was something just here that was, this is kind of off. And then I went to a show in Chicago, and came across Legionus geckos, and I'm like, whoa, these things are really cool. They feel like kinetic sand or velvety.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They're like grippy. Their eyes are probably they're my favorite part, besides their feet, their grippy feet and stuff like that. Their eyes are just really cool. So then I started looking up more about them and watching YouTube videos, which is really hard because there's been more put out over time, but when I first got it, there wasn't a lot of Steve had a little bit of stuff. There was a guy from, I think it was like Reptile Edge. He went up to Northern Gecko and just kind of did a small little like 8-minute breakdown of like a few localities and stuff there. Dave Kaufman had a really good one where he went to New Caledonia. That's probably one of my favorite, just because it's like, that's a place I'll never get to go. And so living vicariously through there. And one of the parts in that video that stuck out to me was that the male, when they found eggs, the male was like hunkered down on this log, and the under this bush were some eggs that were laid, and the male was like protecting the eggs. And I was like, I thought that was very, very interesting, and stuff on that part there. And so, after selling some snakes, I found somebody locally to me that I had no clue this guy even, I hadn't seen him at a reptile show, and hadn't seen him. He just happened to post right place, right time on Facebook. He had some baby lychees for sale. So I ended up buying 2 baby lychees, and start the process of I'm just keeping these as pets, And then in that first year, I went from 2 to 8, and then in the fall, I bought like a small collection of stuff, and that took me up to like pretty close to like 30, and those were like adult sizes that were breeders or getting ready to breed. And then fast forward to that next summer, I bought like 20, ranging from babies to adults, 20 Legionus geckos, and that was like the big, hey, I'm gonna go for this. I really enjoy this species. I don't think it's worked with a lot yet. I would love to find out more details, and see if there's things that I can discover and help with future projects, or just future keepers and stuff like that can kind of take it to the next level. And so we drove 6 hours to Minnesota, and met with some friends, and talked it all over, loaded up geckos, and drove back home and got them all set up and everything. And that was I'd be, 2019 was when I first got lychees. 2021, because it was I was excited because we we did our LLC paperwork, made it official June 1st, and then on July 1st is when we went up and we picked up these geckos and stuff to kind of officially kick off the gecko room, and this whole process of moving forward, of like looking at pairings and stuff like that. And one of the cool parts about it, between the snakes and the geckos, is my wife, she'd help me clean here and there, but she's not for feeding snakes. And if I needed help with something, she'd come help. My son would help me out with some stuff here and there. At the time, he was 7, 8, so he kids things that they want to be involved, they want to be included. So it was fun, and he was interested in it. But with the geckos now, that was one big thing. I could see my wife was interested, that she wanted to go feed geckos with us, and she wanted to go, check for eggs in tubs, and so then we're all four of us are down there. My daughter's 6, my son's 13. He helps feed, he helps clean. Daughter helps spray some tubs here and there. She helps put foods in containers and stuff. But just that extra family time that you don't. It sounds awkward. You don't think about family time. Like, it's not something you'd like on your brain. I guess it just happens, and you think back when you sit down maybe in the evening. It's like, oh, that was a good evening. Like, we got to do this or got to do that. Unless like you're planning like a vacation to try to create family time. Like, I feel like sometimes life gets busy, and we kind of just robot form into like a 9 to 5 or whatever our schedule is that kind of fits that path. And I think us being able to spend time in the gecko room sharing things that, what do you like, or what's something you see that you enjoy about this gecko that we can make it a hold back, or what's, or how's monitoring or seeing a gecko, like, oh, I've noticed this gecko is, picking up eating, we could offer it some more food. To us coming to shows, when you see us at shows, I would say 93, 94% of the time, it's all four of us there usually. Sometimes maybe my son he'll go do something with a friend, or my daughter will stay home with a friend or something like that. The only show usually where you won't see all of us at is Reptilian Nation. Is usually just me, because I ride with a couple other people. Josh from Ball Python Shed. We live pretty close to each other, so we kind of commute together, and so it kind of makes sense to split the cost in that way, and so it works out real nice on that part. But it's fun. I'm out in Colorado this weekend. We're gonna try to go check out some trails and enjoy some family stuff together. But watching my kids hang out at the table, be engaged with animals, I think that helps maybe parents that come in, that their kids are really interested, but sometimes they're not the interested party, but they're coming because they love their
Right.
kid. They want to do this for their kid and stuff like that. I think that really helps bridge a gap at times when they see your children working at the table and coming around and checking out. Like my daughter, her two favorite things are snakes and tortoises. Um, there. I guess I got off topic there, but yeah,
No.
the tortoises are we really enjoy redfoot tortoises. That's another thing that we usually try to make sure we have at our table. Um, on that part, just they're fun. Their personalities as they grow, um, and they're a very manageable tortoise in size, which I really enjoy. And plus, like, just watch them eat is so therapeutic. Like, if you're having a bad day, go get some greens and some veggie and some fruits, and just make a nice little tortoise salad if you have a tortoise. Just watch it eat. It'll cure all that.
Yeah, they're really fun to watch eat.
um,
I don't doubt that. Um, when do you guys go to all these different shows together? Are you driving
yes,
home?
so
Yeah.
we drive to like this, like when I saw you in January at Super Show. Me and my son and a friend, he rode with me. We drove the 24 hours out to Pomona. It's kind of nice. We're in Kansas City, so Dallas NERBC and Chicago NERBC are basically 7 hours, 7.5 hours, 7 hours together. So we're right in between there. I'd love to move a little farther south just so my tortoises could be out a little longer for the season. But like, man, I would hate to. I sometimes think like some friends that live in Texas that drive to Tinley for that like 16-hour drive. I'm like, oh, I'd hate to do that. Like, that's like, ugh. But
But you drove
yeah,
up to California.
I did. I did drive to California. It was exciting. I'd never driven past Denver before. So Utah is absolutely beautiful. No people, but absolutely beautiful. At least
It is
on
gorgeous.
50, it was like I would love to go and get like rent a RV or camper type thing and just like lose a week in Utah and just check out so many different land formations and stuff like that.
Totally.
It was really cool.
Robin said he'd be here in 5 minutes.
Ooh, okay, sweet.
What's the future look like for you? More.
Future wise, so show wise, I enjoy I'm a social butterfly if you know me. My wife definitely knows I'm a social butterfly to get out and chat and talk to people. And then I want to continue to vending NERBCs, going into different markets and sharing lychees. They've popularity in them have grown. I just tell that by a morph market how many are posted. When I first got into it, it was under 100. I think when I looked yesterday, the day before, I guess, I think there was just over 600.
Wow.
So I mean, it's good. You got your hobby has to be growing for it to be a good thing. It can't plateau and stuff like that. But the other big thing is at home locally we do reptile educational programs, birthday parties and events and stuff like that. Just kind of sharing our passion and our love for reptiles to inspire other younger or older generations to maybe this is a part of the world they didn't know about. Like I didn't know reptile shows existed when I would have went to these things in high school. Like I would have went every time there was one going on. I was completely oblivious to them until I was like 20, maybe 25, 26 or something like that at the time. Like I wasted time, man.
Yeah, so did I, man. I didn't get first show till after moving back from Hawaii when I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing at home, I guess, is I want to find just a spot that's maybe a 10 by 20, a 10 by just building wise, and trying to understand that side of the business and how that costs, just to have a space, because right now all of our events is something we come out to you, and so I think that would usher. I feel that would usher in more people, because maybe Peggy or John or whoever doesn't want to. Hey, my house ain't big enough for this, or I don't want to. OCD, and I don't feel my house is clean enough for somebody to come over. So let's do it here, on that aspect. And I think that would be really neat because then I could incorporate maybe local photography or a cake person if they wanted to have a certain package, and so incorporate some other small businesses into this fold on it. But this summer's been really cool for the fact that just word of mouth is our biggest advertisement for like the educational stuff. We had a school district near us. There was like 18. She reached out, asked about it, saw us at a party. She's like, "I'd love for you to come out to our summer camp." So we talked, got it all set up. She called back 5 minutes. "Hey, could I send this out to 18 other people in our district?" I'm like, "You are more than welcome to do that. Like, thank you for calling back and that was really cool that you really wanted to support us like that." And then I think we had like 7 or 8 people reach out and set up times and programs for it. And those things are always so fun. It just pull whether it's a bell or whether it's a bell snake that you pull out, or it's sometimes I'll bring a bull snake, or I'll bring a berm, or I'll bring a retic, or I'll bring a scaleless corn snake. Just different things, and just the oohs and the ahs, the lychee, and just the interaction, because like for some kids that might be the only time that they ever get to interact with a reptile like that, until maybe they become adult, and that's something they can kind of choose on their own. But
that's true.
It's just something cool to share, and those are probably my favorite parts of what I've kind of crafted my niche into is the local stuff that we're doing at home. It's really cool, really neat.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to follow along with everything you're doing there, where can they do that?
I'd say the quickest way is if you hop on Instagram. Instagram is Epic Style space LLC. And then if you, in that bio section, if you click right there, there's that link tree. It'll have all of our links to our website, our Facebook. If you're in our local area where you can book a party or an event, stuff like that. That's the quickest way to get there is the Instagram. I try to be very active on there, sharing stories or sharing posts where we're at, what we're doing, cool things that people might like to see and stuff, to just up engagement and stuff there. So yeah,
cool, man. Right on, Chris.
Yeah,
well, hey, dude. I thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
right on.
Thanks for coming off the show too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be something epic.
Yes, absolutely. Right on, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man.
Yep, thanks.
Good stuff. All right, thank you guys for watching. Go check out Chris right now on Instagram and see everything he's doing if you haven't already. And we'll see you back here next week on Tuesday for another interview here on the Redline Report. Y'all take care. That's right. Wrap. Yay! So these mics are very quiet, so you got to be like one fist away from
Yes.
Wait, yeah, oh
The
yeah.
Quiet Storm.
Hey. Sorry. Oh my gosh. It was deep in there.
No, you're good.
Oh man.